Remember one of my videos I said that I bought a cabin? Well, this came with the cabin. Well, this was in the shed. And I've never tried to start it, to be honest with you. But smelling the gas, I dumped the gas out of that. It was pretty gross. So I figure the carburetor will probably need to be cleaned. So that's where I'm at right now. Clean the carburetor, replace the fuel pump, replace the lines, all the gas lines. Things that I know will rot over time. I was holding my breath that I'd have ignition, and I do. So it doesn't look like I'm going to have to pull the flywheel off. Yeah, I think it's a 74. See that 74 on the end? I believe that's what that meant. That's what I'm looking at now. All I took off was the top. I'll bust these loose. I'll take off the rest. Okay, here's what I had to do. This did come out. Look how tight close it is. So what I did was, while that was on here, I stuck this in here just enough to make this needle valve turn. And I turned that all the way in, and it just gave me enough. Why that's like that? Oh, that's just to hold the choke from. Looks like that just puts a little bit of pressure on the choke, guides the choke. So I think I can safely take that off. Ta-da! There's a screw right there. I may have to take that stupid starter out. Let's see how hard that's going to be. Well, I'm loosening this bolt, and I don't know. This is a recoil starter. There's going to be some pressure on it. This is going to be insane. Okay, so I made sure this bolt came back down in here. And I'm just going to let it sit here. I should be able to get to this. Can you see that nut right there? That nut right there. Okay, I'm going to see that plastic. I'm going to take that screw out of the end. Can you see that end there? Whoops. That straight slot screw. I'm going to try to take that off and not lose this linkage. And then I can get to that nut. Alright, so now I can see that nut. Got the linkage off right there. I left the little lever hanging there on the carburetor. See it right there? See how it's on? This picture will be for me as well as it is for you, so I know how to put it back together. Now I better get that gas line off of there while I've still got a solid base here to grab, to push against. There the little dude is. The outside doesn't look dirty at all, but God only knows. I'm going to open it up and soak it a while. Well, oop. Come on, baby. Look at that. Half of it wants to go one way and half of it wants to go the other. I want it to make up its mind which way it wants to go. I want it all to come at once or you'll rip the gasket in two. So either go with the base. I don't care which way it goes as long as it all goes the same. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Why do people stick their tongues out when they're having trouble? What do I have here? Oh, it's still stuck on the back here a little bit. Just a little. That's just like I figured it'd be. You see that? That has been sitting there for a long time. Look how black it is in there. I suppose tomorrow I'll take it apart or take it out, clean it, wash, blow it all off. Okay, I'm gonna give you a little ride. Ready? Here we go. Look what that really says. It says rich, lean, slow speed adjustment. So that's the only adjustment there is. You can adjust the idle, but you can't adjust the high-speed jet. Okay. I'm not sure whether I should leave that in there or not. This, I might want to take that out of there because there may be some type of a seal in there, because that, see that little valve there? It doesn't appear to have a soft end. So I'm going to try to get that out if it's not too hard. I'm not going to force it too hard, but I am going to try to get it out of there, not soak it, if I can help it. Hey, it came out. What do you know? There may be something in there. Notice I did that in my hand. I did not want it to pop out of there if there's something in there. Let's just give it a little tweak and see if it comes right out. Oh, it did. Look at that. Now, if that had been a regular 4-cycle engine without oil in the gas, that would have probably, especially with today's gas, that would have probably been rusted in there to the point where you'd never get it out. Alright, nothing came out of it except a little bit of oil. So this is probably going to be in pretty good shape. I probably wouldn't have to soak it, but I'm going to anyway. Okay, here it is. You can usually buy that at most of the chain auto stores. It's got a smell all its own. I don't know what the heck it is. But if I knew, I probably wouldn't use it. Okay, so I'm going to stick this. These were really designed for big, like 4-barrel carburetors and stuff. You'd put all the little pieces in here, and then you'd put the carburetor down inside the main part of the bucket. But everything I do is small. It goes right in that basket. It's kind of handy. Alrighty then. Now, we never used them. You get them putting hot in there, they burn your hand. But this is a good thing for me to temporarily put things in that I don't want to lose. Got it? There we go. I'll put the lid on this and set it aside. Interesting little point that I picked up on here. I noticed when I was ordering a gas pump, a new pump, and I tried to get it from OMC, which is the people that made this originally. They wanted like $100 for one of these, over $100. And a lot of rebuild kits did not come with these covers, this right here. I couldn't figure out how, it said out of stock. I thought, why would there be such out of stock? Well, I just realized when I tried to take this line off of here, this is basically turned into glass. I mean, it's hard as a rock. The only way I could get it off of there, even after I cut it with a razor knife along here, half of it, usually on a hose you can just push it off, right? This wouldn't come off, so I went back here and took my dikes and cut it in two. And I noticed that, man, it was hard. It's like a rock. It wouldn't give enough, even though I had it loose from here. If I'd have kept pushing, I'd have probably broke this trying to push against this rock hard piece of line. Wow, that's some hard stuff. The inside's like clear, plastic that's turned into solid plastic. Anyway, keep that in mind if you get ready to take these off, if you ever have to do it. Don't just keep pushing on this thing, because this is just plastic. And this is now less flexible than this. So, there you go. There's the old one. There's the new one. My little gasket. Ooh, I don't know. Yeah, I think it'll fit. I'm gonna clean that up a little bit. Just take a rag and wipe it off real clean before I put that on there. Okay. Look at that. They said they modified it. They weren't kidding. But they didn't tell you that you need screws that are a little bit longer. Look at that. It's going to have to be a 1/4 inch longer, that screw is. I couldn't get it to start. I couldn't figure out why. Alright. Well, there goes nothing. Okay, so I found the right thread screws. And the length, I've got some that are just slightly less sticking out of the new one than the old one, so we're going to see if it'll tighten it up on there. I want to make sure I don't bottom out with the screws. I want to make sure that this get a good seal on here. Remember, this is crushed, so this might be slightly bigger, but I think this will work. Okay, so I got it mounted on here, and they're aimed the same direction. Or are they? Yeah. Because remember, the one that goes to the carburetor came up and made a big loop into this. This one came straight in, which is what I'm going to be end up doing right here. But now my only concern is, will the lid, the cover, fit on here still? See how it's got little lots? It's going to be awfully close. So I'm going to take a look here and see before I go put everything on it. Remember, I want the dirt to be out here where I can see it. And I'll clamp this down. Should be better. I really don't want to get any more of that on my hands than I have to. There's the bowl. Okay, so I got my air compressor. Now I'm going to spray in all these holes. Get all rid of most of that cleaner. Just any orifice. This thing should be nice and clean on the inside now. It's been soaking a long time. Don't forget to go into where the gas goes in case there's a little bit of dirt in there. You want to get it out. Remember, we got a filter now. We want to keep it clean. Dirt is one of the carburetor's biggest enemies. Got all those internal. See, they've had to drill in here. They've had to drill in here. See all those little covers they put on it, plugs. So that you know they've drilled through there. Drilled. You can see where the massage goes in here. You want to make sure, best you can. If you get a piece of dirt in there, inside there, it is possible to order these little plugs, take them out. You just poke a little hole in them and pry them out, and then put a new one in. But it's usually just cheaper to buy a carburetor than do all that crap. But anyway, there's my carburetor, as clean as it's going to get. That's the bowl, really thin. So now I gotta find my little cup. A little cup with parts in it. See? I think I screwed up, boys. Boys and girls, I think I screwed up. I think I got these flip-flopped. There's something to look out for. Yep, I think I did. Put it in there like that because I thought the shortest one would go in the shortest hole. But evidently, it's not the case. Huh. Man, that's a big hole. Remember when I told you I thought it would have a seal on it? Well, this does have a seal on it. See if it'll fit without forcing it. I want to make sure it doesn't bottom out. I could tell because that needle wouldn't go down in there. Okay, I got it tight. Now let's see if this will go in this hole. Well, that's actually your jet. Holy cow, look at the size of that thing. Whew, so it'll be a gas hog. Of course, we got that adjustment, which will can cut that down if we wanted to. Okay, normally a float, I'm not saying that all engines are like this or all carburetors, but usually when they make a float, when it's closed, it should be parallel with the main frame. See that? In reality, this will be upside down like this. Okay, like this. The float's going to be right here. And when it needs gas, it's going to fall down a little bit, not that much, but just a hair. I'm blowing in there. So now I'm going to put this little hose, if I can get it over there, onto here. This is just temporary, right? Now when I blow on this, with it being upside down like this, the float is sitting against there. Now it should be airtight. I can't get any air through it. Maybe you'll hear it. Let's listen real quick. Listen. That's a lot more pressure than you're ever going to get out of that little gas tank. I mean, that fuel pump. So, okay, so that's seals. That's good. This is tight. The seat's tight. So now we're just going to do is I'm going to leave it upside down like this so I don't keep everything falling off. I'm going to look at this seal and see if I get some idea of which way it goes. Just make sure all the holes line up. Alright, see that? Now, put this cap on it, or not a cap, but the bowl. Get these screws started. Remember, I said started, not tight. I don't want to turn this back over until I get this bowl on here, because the bowl will keep it from opening up too far. If you open up too far, it could drop that needle out. Needle valve, what I call it. Just go ahead and get everything on there. And when I get all done, I'm going to check it again with that hose and see, make sure that it opens and closes. This time I'll just do it by turning it upside down. Crisscross. All right. There we are. Now I'm going to put my little hose on there again. Okay, it's a test. Should I get air or should I not get air through there? I should not. Now I'm going to open it up. We got air. So it seals. Okay. I'm out of breath. That's just how simple it was. We'll see if I did a good job when I try to get it to run. Alright, carburetor. Amazing instrument. And soon to be replaced with other things. Fuel injection. Remember, a carburetor really, most of the time, works just on vacuum, just sucking. That's why we have to have a choke. Because if it's wide open like this, it's not going to be much vacuum built up in there. But when you close it and choke it, what that does is what little vacuum you're getting from the piston is actually, it's not completely contained in there, but it's somewhat contained, so that it has enough suction to suck this gas up through these little holes and shoot them into the engine. Of course, once it starts, you're going to have quite a bit of vacuum. If you ever put your hand over the intake of an engine, you'll see. On a big old V8, it'll hurt your hand. Okay, so now I gotta go figure out how this came off. Okay, I just got these nuts started. See it right there, and that one there. This linkage, that linkage over here, give me something to point with. This linkage right in there. I'm able to flip that up after it's tight. Linkage right in there. Okay, this is what the linkage should look like when you're done. Okay, I'm going to give it some gas. In other words, twist the handle. See it coming down? That's opening the valve. I mean the carburetor. See it? See how the linkage is put together? Okay. Alright. Got that. We got the choke in place. I was going to put one of those screw-on clamps on. Then I realized that when this goes into reverse, this comes right up there, close to this. Oops. See how it comes up close? So I really couldn't put a clamp on it, so I went ahead and put a tie wrap on it. Then you got to also be sure that the tie wrap doesn't interfere with the throttle linkage. See it right there? Make sure it doesn't stop it. So now I got a little clamp that you can't see. It's really a tie wrap. Look at that, eh? Well, this leaking, and I looked in there and I pulled it out. There's an O-ring that goes in there. I don't have one. My O-ring kit doesn't have one. So I'm gonna put a new one on it. Ta-da! There's an O-ring in there. And it was leaking. Look at that. No leaky. What am I not seeing there? What am I not seeing? I don't see any blue in that gas, so I don't have any oil in there. I forgot to put oil in it. I've had a 4-cycle engine so long that I used to always want to put oil in my Yamaha, and that doesn't work. Anything can happen. Here we go. Are you ready? I'm not sure I am. I'm going to try it with a choke on. I just took a wild guess on this setting on this carburetor. So here goes. I'm going to leave the top off so I can see it. Okay, I took the spark plugs out and I gave them a little shot of gas. Took it out of the tank. I used this. I'm going to turn it over real easy the first turn to make sure it's not too much gas in there. Make sure the piston's going right through. Okay, here we go. Oh-ho! Well, thanks for sticking around. Come back for part 2. This video got to be really long, so I'm going to make 2 parts out of it. And I'll show you trying it out on a boat. But the problem, I got one problem. The only boat I have right now is a 10-footer in the water. So a 10-footer with a 15-horse motor. I may not be able to show you running it wide open, but I'll be able to show you pushing the boat around. We'll see what it does. It might be exciting. Talk to you later. Bye.